So we're done with our Book of Job study. It was so delightful. Brought back so many memories. Here's how you could go through the Book of Job and put a spin on it so that it can apply to your life. In the land of Oregon, there lived a woman whose name was Laura. This woman was blameless and upright. She feared God and shunned evil. She had 6 daughters and 2 sons, and she owned several dogs, Jack Russell, Golden Retrievers, and she grew up with dogs as a little girl, and she owned several cats and bunny rabbits, 2 bunny rabbits. I can't remember how many sugar gliders, a dozen sugar gliders, some fish, a couple of goldfish, and a squirrel, and a small zoo, and chickens, 8 chickens and a small zoo. And she had no servants at all because she couldn't afford them. She was the servant. Anyways, she was the greatest woman among all the people on the West Coast. Her children used to take turns holding feasts in their homes, and they would invite their other siblings to eat and drink with them. When the period of feasting had run its course, Laura would send and have them purified. Early in the morning, she would sacrifice burnt offerings of toast for each one of them and burnt pancakes, thinking perhaps my children have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. This was Laura's regular custom. One day the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. The Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" Satan answered the Lord, "From roaming through the earth and going back and forth in it." Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Laura? There is no one on earth like her. She is blameless and upright, a woman who fears God and shuns evil." "Does Laura fear God for nothing?" Satan replied. "Have you not put a hedge around her and her household and everything she has? You have blessed the work of her hands so that her flocks and herds and kids are spread throughout the land. But stretch out your hand and strike everything she has, and she will surely curse you to your face." The Lord said to Satan, "Very well then, everything she has is in your hands, but on her, the woman herself, do not lay a finger." Then Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. One day when Laura's sons and daughters were feasting and drinking wine. Oh no, they better not be. Oh, they better not be. Alcoholism runs in our family. They better be careful about feasting and drinking wine. Oh, this better not happen to my family. No. But anyways, they are out carousing around the world, having fun. And they got carried off by the world. And I'm the only one left to tell you. And then while that servant was speaking, because I don't have any servants, so I'm my own servant, another messenger came and said that, the fire of God fell from the sky and burned up everything, and all of your dogs and cats and sheep and animals and everything's just, they're toast. It's all toast. It's all water under the bridge toast. It never even happened. I'm the only one escaped to tell you. And then while that one was still speaking, another messenger came and said, "Oh my goodness, the DHS and the lawyers and everybody formed 3 raiding parties and swept down and carried everybody away. And they put all the servants to the sword because, they're just and that's a sword that comes out of my mouth. And I'm the only one who escaped to tell you." And then while he was still speaking, another messenger came and, oh no, there was a mighty wind from the desert, and it struck the 4 corners of the whole house of God, and the church is gone. The church fell apart, and it collapsed on everybody, and everyone's now dead, because they're just probably, some of them are, but anyways, they're all scattered around the world, like Redding, California, and Idaho, and every place else, and the church is dead. And then I'm the only one that escaped to tell you. At this, Laura got up and tore her robe and she cut off her hair, and she said, "Hell hath no fury like a woman shorn. I'm a shorn woman now." And then she fell to the ground in worship, which I have done, and said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." In all this, Laura did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing. On another day, the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them to present himself before him. And the Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" And Satan answered the Lord, "From roaming through the earth and going back and forth in it." And then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Laura? There is no one on earth like her. She is blameless and upright, a woman who fears God and shuns evil. And she still maintains her integrity, though you incited me against her to ruin her without any reason." "Skin for skin," Satan replied. A woman will give all she has for her own life, but stretch out your hand and strike her flesh and bones, and she will surely curse you to your face." The Lord said to Satan, "Very well then, she is in your hands, but you must spare her life." So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord and afflicted Laura with pain and a small cancer spot. And he sent a woman around the corner on drugs to try and kill Laura and pound her head into the pavement. And then he caused her womb to get hyperplasia. And so when she went in to do self-care and have a hysterectomy, he caused her bowels to close up 10 days afterwards. And then he caused road construction to take place in Veneta, Oregon, on the way back from delivering art supplies and a Noam Chomsky chocolate cake to her kids while she's being treated like a criminal. And she got stuck in road construction. And then more things happened, bad things, just a series of unfortunate events. Car accidents happened. 3, 2, well, jeez. And then people were running stoplights left and right and stop signs. And then an accelerator on a car almost hit her car and zoomed by and hit the curb, and nobody got killed. Thank goodness. And so all these horrible things, and then sent a woman her way who has skin sores all over to be picky and pick on her and tell her all the things she's doing wrong. And then Laura decided one year to give out socks to people on the streets and hauled home 2 homeless people. And when they got into the house, the man identified himself as Satan. That's funny, but that's true. And then Satan told Laura to get on your knees and declare that I'm your God. And Laura, because she has integrity, stood up to Satan and said, "My God's a hell of a lot more handsome than you. I'm not going to do that." And then Laura said, "The most I admit is you're my brother from another mother. You sound like my brother John. You're a nut." And then Laura hugged them out of the house and out of the neighborhood right before she told Satan he doesn't want to mess with her because she's also a witch. And she showed him a picture of redhead with a wart on her chin in first grade, and he argued with her on that one too. And then she was outside planting a little tree and met her new neighbors, and lo and behold, God brought Snow White into the neighborhood. So God's funny. So all that Laura lost because her family doesn't want to talk to her while she's over here writing books and poetry, all of the blessings that Laura lost have been replaced. She gave away a house and got no equity out of it. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, and got a bigger house in return. That's God's economy for you. And she gave away a bunch of animals, and she got a nice one little animal in return. And then she gave away lots of hugs, and she got the coronavirus in return. And she gave away, she's a giver. She gave a lot, and she gives and gives and gives, and then pretty soon there's only thing to give is her finger, and she'll even give a finger too. You've got to love yourself before you can love anyone else. We got to marry yourself first, and then you can get married to someone else. And then she just, yes, and now she has 3 sisters, 3 friends. One is her partner's ex-wife named Mary Elizabeth, and she loves me, and we're friends. And then Mary Elizabeth in the theater group, who is a friend. And then she's got a Mary Elizabeth as a sister. So pay attention to sets of 3s when they show up in your life. They're like the 3 sisters. And she also can look out and see the 3 sisters of Oregon. And 3s, trinities, and triads, and triangulation happens a lot. Mommy, daddy, child is a triangle. Good mommy, bad mommy. Good daddy, bad daddy. Good child, bad child. And politics, religion, and sex travel through time, like Mother Goose and Dr. Seuss. And you wouldn't be here if your family wasn't a bunch of fuckers. If your parents weren't fuckers and they weren't riddled with fuckerisms. And even Philip Larkin had it figured out. He has a poem called This Be the Verse. They fuck you up, your mom and dad. They may not mean to, but they do. They give you all the faults they had and add some extra just for you. But they were fucked up in their turn by men in old-style hats and coats, who half the time were soppy stern and half at one another's throats. Man hands on misery to man. It deepens like the coastal shelf. So get out early as you can and don't have any kids yourself. Unless, of course, you want them, and then hang on for dear life. So, roller coaster ride.